Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to my NFL Week 1 hot takes or takeaways, however you want to call it. I'm going to fire off about 15 or 16 takes on the Week 1 NFL action. Let's get going. Number 1, Cowboys are screwed. Should they tank? And guys, maybe because it happened last night, it's stuck in my head. Dak Prescott, the biggest injury of Week 1. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. The Dallas Cowboys in the offseason lose Amari Cooper. They've got some injuries to their wide receiver core. They come into Week 1 already banged up. Then they get crushed. Tampa Bay is a good team. I still think the Cowboys have a pretty good defense. We know how much of a beast Micah Parsons is. But I think with the Cowboys, you look at their current roster situation, you're getting a bunch of dead money off of your salary cap. You're getting Zeke off your cap. Next year, could this be a situation where Dallas says, screw it, let's just keep Dak out? We'll see where they end up being in 6 to 8 weeks, but will they trade for a quarterback? I don't know. Their division is still winnable. But realistically, it's very hard to see the Dallas Cowboys doing anything in the playoffs with their current offense as is. I still think they're talented overall. But if you're the Cowboys, you can almost use this Dak Prescott injury to your advantage. I don't know if you want to keep him out the entire year, but think about it. You get all that money off your cap. You get a top 10 pick. You get a healthy, rested Dak Prescott for next year. I'm not saying to completely throw the season away. I would say play these next few games with a backup, see how well you look. But it's a situation where even if Dak Prescott comes back and the Cowboys sneak into the playoffs, do we really think they're going to make noise in the NFC? It's tough to say. They would have to get healthy quickly. So last night, literal worst case scenario for the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, their franchise quarterback, being out. The offense, even with Dak, looked horrible. Number 2, the Steelers and Bengals both lose. So yeah, the Steelers end up winning the game. They lose TJ Watt. That's a net loss in my opinion. TJ Watt, one of the best defenders in the NFL. And how about the Steelers turning the Bengals over 5 times and barely winning? They probably should have lost. And then the Bengals, Zach Taylor, probably the worst coach on Sunday, doesn't challenge a sure touchdown by Jamar Chase, doesn't let the time run down in overtime. The punter punts it with 25 seconds left on the play clock when they could have easily settled for the tie. The Steelers had no timeouts. So the Steelers, with the injury and the offense, I think they've got to turn to Kenny Pickett at least by week 4 or week 5. You're winning a game in overtime where you have all of those turnovers. You get a pick 6. That's an anemic offense by Mitch Trubisky. I'm sorry. Also, Najee Harris gets injured. So both of these teams, in my opinion, lost. And my major takeaway from the AFC North, the Ravens are winning that division. That's my major takeaway. And I said that before the season. Number 3, the Patriots are the exact same as last year. Yes, no improvement in terms of the offensive playmakers for the Patriots. The running backs are lacking. The receivers are lacking. How do you expect Mac Jones to really get all that better? I had already been worried about Mac Jones possibly having a very high floor but a very low ceiling, meaning, he's not going to improve a ton after his rookie year like other quarterbacks. And the fact that they don't have really any great weapons or elite playmakers, that also hinders him, and he gets injured. So it was a really bad week 1 for the Patriots. I don't know what they expected to be different with their offense. They didn't change anything. So it's like, that's my major takeaway from them. Number 4, I feel bad for Jets fans. I mean, what are the Jets doing? The Jets throw the ball 59 times in week 1 and generate 9 points. Joe Flacco, oh my goodness. The thing is, Zach Wilson is still out, so next week it's either Flacco or Mike White. I don't know why Garrett Wilson isn't playing 100% of the snaps. I guess they have Corey Davis. If you draft a receiver 10th overall, he should be out there for at least 90% of the snaps. That is ridiculous. And then also, I was disappointed in the usage of Breece Hall. I guess he's a rookie, whatever, but I think Michael Carter is better suited to be a third down back. Either way, Michael Carter was more effective, but we need to see Breece Hall get more carries, in my opinion. And the Jets, the only thing you can hope at this point this season, you get Zach Wilson back, and Zach Wilson, the former number 2 overall pick, proves himself to be a potential franchise quarterback with Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson playing well. That's your biggest hope if you're a Jets fan. Number 5, I have to blame Aaron Rodgers. I told Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, your front office sucks. They're not going to get you any weapons. Aaron Rodgers decides to stay with the Green Bay Packers, and what happens? They go into week 1 with Sammy Watkins, Randall Cobb, who's 50, and a bunch of rookies. And I mean, it was so obvious to see. And it's like, yeah, I feel bad Aaron Rodgers has nobody, but he chose this. This is what Aaron Rodgers chose. He chose the Packers. He could have went to the Colts. They could have made it work. He could have went to Cleveland. He could have went to Pittsburgh. They all would have made it work with their salary cap. Demand a trade to a certain team. He stays with the Packers. The Packers lose Devontae Adams. And then, of course, their front office, the geniuses that they are, they draft 2 defenders in the first round. They have 2 first-round picks. Both use them on defensive players. I blame Aaron Rodgers. He should have left. Number 5, Colts are a lock to win the South. So this might be a little bit of a surprising take, considering the Colts tied with Houston. But you just look at the other teams in that division. I think it was a fluke week 1 thing. The Colts did turn it on. They outscored Houston 17-0 in the fourth quarter. You look at Tennessee losing at home to the Giants. That's a very easy division, and I think the Colts at this point are a lock to win it, even after the mishap in week 1 where they did tie with the Texans. Number 7, Chiefs front office better than the Packers front office. Take a look at the way the Chiefs replaced losing their number 1 receiver. They got Juju Smith-Schuster. They got a solid replacement. They've also got other playmakers. They drafted good playmakers. Compare that to what the Packers did. It's night and day. You can see the scheme. You can see the overall team, the Chiefs front office. You lose a number 1 receiver. That is how you replace him. Of course, it doesn't hurt that you still have Travis Kelce as well. But I just thought it was interesting how you see both of these front offices lose their number 1 receiver, and the Chiefs, who already had Travis Kelce, by the way. The Packers didn't have anyone like that. The Chiefs even added more on top of that, and Mahomes in September is ridiculous. The scheme is unbelievable right now in Kansas City. 5 touchdown passes, blowout win. 49ers fans need to calm down because, guys, listen, Trey Lance was in an unwinnable situation on Sunday. It's week 1. You can't throw the ball. It's a driving downpour basically the whole game on the road. It's just tough. It's a tough situation. Don't read too much into it. Trey Lance will be fine. I have high hopes for this 49ers team. Yeah, you would have loved to have gutted out, a win on the road against a bad team in the Bears, but it is what it is. You're going to lose games. Moving on to number 9, Travis Etienne will be great. I know Travis Etienne's stat line wasn't that impressive in terms of fantasy. He would have had 2 touchdowns. 1 he dropped, and 1 Trevor Lawrence just completely overthrew him. Travis Etienne is going to be a matchup nightmare in the passing game. He is going to be a PPR machine. Don't look at the stats in week 1. Understand the context. Travis Etienne is going to be amazing. Number 10, this is for fantasy. Trade James Conner immediately. If you made the mistake of drafting James Conner, you need to trade him for whatever value you can get. Trade him for Cam Akers for all I care. You got to get rid of him, guys. James Conner is going to be a complete bust this year. He had another 1-yard touchdown. It's not sustainable. Come on, you got to trade him. Number 11, the Browns are boring, but they do get a huge win. Think about that. The Browns invest a 4th-round pick into Cade York, and he basically wins them the game week 1. But guys, the Browns, with Jacoby Brissett, they might be a top 3 most boring team in the NFL. They're so one-dimensional. If you watched that Panthers game, the only way the Browns moved the ball, for the most part, through the air, was pass interference. Jacoby Brissett, oh my God, Jacoby Brissett is bad. But The Browns are, like, if I'm defending the Browns, I'm just stopping their running game. I'm just don't let them run the ball and don't have pass interference penalties. That's all you have to do against the Browns. They're literally so one-dimensional, but the Browns are so talented, it can work. We'll see if Jacoby Brissett can win 4 or 5 games, for Deshaun Watson to keep them in the playoff race when he comes back. Justin Fields, welp. It's just sad, guys. It's a good win for Justin Fields in the rain. Definitely, there's just no receiving weapons. And I know Bears fans are going to try and excuse their front office, and they're going to say, well, they're saved. Look how much cap space they've got for next year. You need to get Justin Fields help this year. This is a young quarterback who's trying to develop. You've got to get him playmakers. You can't have your number 2 receiver be Byron Pringle. Come on. I don't understand. It's so important when developing young quarterbacks to get them confidence. You're not getting them confidence when you're in an unwinnable situation. How is Justin Fields supposed to do anything with this offense? I don't understand. It was a great win. Fields, obviously his stats are not going to be good for week 1. You're playing in a downpour, but it's just so disappointing, man. It is. Numbers 13, the AFC West is crazy. AFC West is unbelievable. You've got the Chiefs, you've got the Chargers, the Raiders are always going to be competitive, and then the Broncos. But week 1, the Chiefs look amazing. The Chargers, to me, look really good. They're a dark horse Super Bowl contender if they can stay healthy on the defensive side of the ball. And then, of course, the Raiders, Davante Adams making his debut, crazy numbers. Both Davante Adams and A.J. Brown, crazy week 1 performances. Number 14, the Saints are set up nice for their next quarterback, whoever that is. I'm sure the Saints are lurking. They're looking for the next franchise quarterback, and they've got Chris Olave. They've got Michael Thomas. They've got a really nice nucleus there. Jarvis Landry's older, so I'm not going to include him. But how about Jarvis Landry played a better... that game yesterday, Jarvis Landry was better than any Browns game he ever had in his 5 years with the Browns or whatever. But, the Saints... they are set up with that Olave pick. I thought was really good, and you've got Olave paired with Michael Thomas for the next few years at least, possibly with a new quarterback at some point. Jameis is certainly a serviceable quarterback, but he's not a guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl. Number 15, the Commanders have weapons. Yes, Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson suddenly out of the backfield, Curtis Samuel. Really interesting situation where Curtis Samuel was injured last year. They get him back. They also draft Jahan Dotson. Suddenly they have multiple weapons. We'll see if Logan Thomas can also emerge. I'm not that high on the Commanders offense because I don't love Carson Wentz. But still, they've got some nice weapons there, guys. So that is my official NFL week number 1 hot takes, guys. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.